Hey everybody, it's Jade. Thanks so much for swinging by, whether you're stopping by now, later, whenever. I appreciate it. It's been a minute since I've been on here. It feels like forever actually, but it's been a couple of months. So post Super Bowl prediction, got that one wrong, but hey, it happens. And back at it today, I'm going to be doing a Planetary pregame or an astrology game prediction for the LA Lakers hosting the Minnesota Timberwolves for the Western NBA Finals round one. So this is game number one, and it's slated to start at 7:30 Los Angeles time. So pulled up 5:30 Los Angeles time, 7:30 Central. Okay, I think I got it. So I'm going to pull up the chart and just do a prediction on what I think is going to happen. And then maybe talk a little bit about Minnesota Vikings. The NFL draft is coming up. Before we know it, the season's pretty much just going to be here. And the Minnesota Vikings have yet to really sign a backup quarterback. So there's a whole quarterback kerfuffle going on with the Minnesota Vikings. I feel like there always is every single season. What's going on there? And with the Vikings too, for me personally, as a Vikings fan, it's kind of like the biggest rumors are kind of like my worst nightmare. Pizza Boy, aka Kirk Cousins, returning back. No, we just got rid of you. Goodbye. It's done. Goodbye. No, please, no. And then the other, he who shall not be named, big baby over that used to quarterback for the Evil to the East, who then went to the Jets, who now is with nobody. He who shall not be named. I can't. Okay. So, yeah, I just, that's kind of like literally my worst nightmare. So, John, JJ, I hope you're ready. McCarthy, that is, to take over the reins, I guess, because that's what the Vikings, that's what their plan is anyway, as of right now. So, I am going to pull up the chart and do the reading for Lakers versus Timberwolves, Timberwolves at Lakers, whatever you prefer. And then maybe talk a little bit more Vikings, but and then too, yeah, Case Keenum, who could have come back to the Vikings, but no. And then they brought in Kirk instead. Okay, well, he's with the Bears now, so he's back in the NFC North. So we'll get to see Case a couple times a year for all the Keeniacs out there, obviously myself included. So anyway, let me share the chart for the game today. Let me see. Let me pull it up here. I think this is the one. I hope anyway. I have a few different tabs open and a few different charts open. So yeah, okay, I think this is the one. This is the one I wanted. Right. Okay, this is pretty good. So basically what we got here is the chart for, like I said, Timberwolves at Lakers, Lakers versus Timberwolves. And I'm changing it up a little bit on how I do the readings. I've done the last couple like this, but I'm giving different rulership to the teams. So I had been doing every single Vikings game because I did Planetary pregame for all the Minnesota Vikings games for the last year. I had the home team with first house rulership and then the visiting team with seventh house rulership in astrology is what I'm talking about, basically. The houses, the house distribution, and rulership. So for the last couple of games and the last few predictions, I have been doing it where the home team is going to be ruled by the planet that rules the seventh house, and the visiting team is going to be ruled by the planet that rules the first house. So anyway, that's how I'm going to read the chart today. And yeah, we're going to go from there. I'm trying to see now what's better accuracy, because it was pretty good before with the opposite rulership for NFL anyway. So, and then maybe there's a difference too. Maybe it's more accurate rating it a certain way with NBA as opposed to NFL. I mean, it really shouldn't, but anyway. So, hey, Will, how you doing? William, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. What's going on? How you been? I'm changing that a little bit. Well, hello. Yeah, good to see you. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate that. All right. Are you going to be watching NBA tonight? And I'm actually going to be able to watch it too because I think it's on like ABC Timberwolves anyway. So, yeah, back to the chart here. I'm going to blow it up a little bit. I want it to be a little bigger. All right. There's nothing perfect. The layout's not perfect, but I got to just work with it. Here you can kind of see basically everything. Nice. Good. I'm glad to hear it. Very, very good. Cheers to that. I'm going to take a sip of water. Okay. Nice. Very good. We like that you're doing well. Good, good. Okay. So, game tonight. Like I said, I am having the home team be ruled by the seventh house, the planet that rules the seventh house. So for this chart tonight, or for the game tonight, the Lakers, they are going to be ruled by the sign of Aries, and Aries is ruled by the planet Mars. So Mars is going to be the representative planet for the LA Lakers tonight. And then for the Vikings, I'm so used to doing Vikings. For the Timberwolves, as the visitor, they're going to be represented by house number 1. That's right over here in the sign of Libra. And Libra is ruled by Venus. So we got Venus and Mars going at it tonight, people. So the Lakers are ruled by Mars, the Timberwolves ruled by Venus. And then I'm going to look at the 5th house for each team and the 10th house for each team, as well as what the moon is doing. Because the moon, she's very, very important. She's kind of the co-ruler of every single chart. So, oh, you miss football? Yeah, it'll be back before you know it, though. Yeah, it is it's kind of like that gray area time. I mean, there's other sports going on, obviously. NBA, there's golf, the Masters just happened, NHL, baseball's back, but yeah. NFL is missing. Eagles win the Super Bowl? No, yeah, exactly. You ended on this really, really high note. So it's kind of hard to top that, isn't it? So yeah, I understand though. Congratulations. Even though I don't like your team, but hey, you guys did great. So congratulations. And you know what? I wanted you guys to win instead of Kansas City. So nice. We like it. So, all right, back to this chart over here. So the moon, like I said, the moon is in Capricorn tonight. And the game is at 5:30 Los Angeles time. So this is the chart for 5:30. It's probably going to start, I would suspect, I don't know, maybe around like 5:45 or something like that. But I am just going to read it for 5:30 because that's the tip-off time that I could find. If anybody has an actual tip-off time, let me know. But I just saw 5:30, so that's what I'm going with. And this is the time in Los Angeles or Pacific time. So anyways, so the moon is in Capricorn. And then, like I said, the Lakers, they're ruled by Mars tonight. And Mars is over here in the sign of Leo. So Mars just got out of the sign of Cancer. Mars does not like being in Cancer. So Mars is rules a fire sign. Aries is a fire sign. And Mars is now at 0 degrees of Leo. Leo is also a fire sign. So we got some fire going on. Two Evil, how you doing? Good to see you. Hey. How you doing? Are you enjoying the off season? We're waiting, right? We're waiting. Draft time coming up. Good to see you though. Thanks for stopping through. So back to, let's see, the moon in Capricorn. And so I'm going to look at Los Angeles tonight first because they're the home team. So I'm going to look at what Mars is doing with the ruler, the planet that rules LA's 5th house, which rules their games, recreation, sports, and then their 10th house, which is how you show out to the public. So for the Lakers, their 5th house of games lands in the lands in the sign of Leo. Leo's ruled by the sun. So by the start of this game, actually, we're going to be moving into Taurus season. So happy Taurus season to all of you out there. So the moon will be at 0 degrees of Taurus. So the moon at 0 degrees of, the sun at 0 degrees of Taurus, squaring Mars at 0 degrees of Leo, and squaring is 90 degrees. There's some tension there. So basically how the Lakers play their game and themselves, they're squaring and kind of like butting heads. So I don't like that for the Lakers. And also the moon in Capricorn is not doing anything with Mars and Leo. So the moon, again, is the co-ruler of the chart. And she's not doing anything with Mars. So again, Mars is ruling the Lakers tonight, how I am reading this chart. No! That's so funny. I'll give you one of these as I'm pulling out my hair. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm holding strong on that. That needs to stop. It needs to be done. Actually, too, while we're on the subject of the seal clapping, until the seal clapping stops, we, as in the Minnesota Vikings, we're never going to win a Super Bowl, people. I'm putting my foot down right now. Actually, I'm putting my finger down, but I'm declaring it, okay? So it needs to stop. That's hilarious, though. It makes me laugh every time. Okay. So, people. Yeah, my Leo rising often shows because I'm always fidgeting with my hair. I gotta leave it alone. Okay. Leo, the lion's mane. Okay, the hair. The rising sign represents, how you look. So I'm a Leo rising, so I'm often fidgeting with my hair. Okay, so back to the Lakers here. Now I don't like that their fifth house of games and themselves, they're not really interacting or doing anything. And then for the Lakers too, they have a couple other things in their first house here. They do have the sun in the first house. Again, the sun rules how they play their games. So it's not like they're going to be like, I don't think completely out of it or anything. Like, this is obviously an important game. Obviously, for LeBron, it's very, very important. And it's interesting, too, that the moon is in Capricorn. LeBron has his sun in Capricorn. So, there's that, too. It's obviously an important, series, and every game for LeBron James at this point is important. But I just really don't like the square between this red line here, the square between the sun, again, the ruler of the Lakers' fifth house of games, and Mars, he rules the Lakers themselves tonight. Now, for the Lakers, their 10th house, how they show out to the public, that is ruled by Saturn or the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. So Saturn is right over here at 26 degrees of Pisces. And Saturn isn't doing anything with Mars. If anything, it's in a very wide, trine, this, blue line here. It's quite wide, though, so it's waning. It's not really super strong. But the fact that the moon, which rules the people, is in the Lakers' 10th house. Again, how they show up to the public, how they are on a public level, the moon ruling the people. The moon is also feminine, but the moon is in Capricorn. Capricorn is older people, masculine. So there could be, and the moon also rules the LA Lakers home. So I'm sure it's going to be a star-studded event. A lot of celebrities there. I could maybe see a former Laker in the house that's older, maybe like Magic Johnson or Shaq being there or something like that. Just because, again, the moon rules the people. In the Lakers' 10th house, popularity, the moon is in Capricorn. Capricorn is older people, especially longevity, things that have been established for a long time. And also they have Pluto hanging out there too. So something, I don't know, maybe I don't think they're doing any sort of statue or anything. Or maybe too, since LeBron James is a Capricorn, the moon is in Capricorn. He's obviously playing. He's older. Maybe some sort of tribute to him too. Or he could just potentially really ball out at this game too. So just things to look for. All right. I don't have to. No, I don't want to. Not yet. Not yet. I can't. I shan't. And I won't. I don't want to because I think it's rather dumb. I don't know why I'm talking in a British accent. No, I don't want to. Jade, we will only win if you score. No. See, here's the thing. I think it's the opposite. I think they are only going to continue to win if we all stop. I mean, I've never done it. But no, it needs to stop. One day the truth will come out. Zimmer will speak about how he didn't want to do the skull clap ever. Sean Payton's going to speak out about it. Kevin O'Connell's going to talk about it too. Kirk's going to say it was dumb. No. That's so funny though. All right. So for the Lakers, they got some stuff going on, and I do think that it's going to be the LeBron show. I mean, obviously Luka is there. I forget what Luka's sign is, what his birthday is. Because he was a pain in the arse for the Timberwolves last year. He's a Pisces. Okay, so he is February 28th, Luca, 26. He just turned 26. Okay, so, there since Saturn is in Pisces, it's very far away from Luca's sun sign because his sun sign is in the early degrees of Pisces. Now, if Saturn were closer there, I would be like, man, I think he's really gonna like slow down or like be slow, something like that, because Saturn is kind of slow moving. Again, rules timing, older people, longevity, like the long, slow climb to the top. But anyway, so we could look out for that a little bit, but I don't really think that's going to be too strong just because, again, and I only know Luca's sun sign in the early degrees of Pisces. I don't know the rest of his chart. So the rest of his chart could say otherwise. But anyway, so let's take a little peek at the Timberwolves here now. So obviously one of the huge stars, or the star for the Timberwolves, is Anthony Edwards. And Anthony Edwards has his sun sign. His sun is in Leo. And I think his sun sign, is kind of in the middle degrees of Leo. I think his birthday is in August. Let me just look quick. And I say that because Mars just moved in to Leo. Is at 0 degrees, and Mars is our drive, our energy, our ambition. So that being close to Anthony Edwards' sun sign could give him just like this extra like jolt of energy, basically, just kind of like getting really laser focused. And Mars, with the ambition, the energy, your drive, it does well, in another fire sign, because it rules Aries. It also rules Scorpio. But so that could be something to look out for too, for Ant to really like put the foot on the gas type of thing. All right. Good look out for that tonight. Hi, Eric. How you doing? How's New Mexico? Everybody hanging out there, representing the purple down there. Good to see you. From me and my Florinda and Raquel. Nice. Thanks, everybody. Lovely to see you all. Hope you're doing great. Thanks for stopping by. Yes, I know it's been so long. It's been like 2 months, but I feel like it's been so long. It has been so long, but good to see you. I hope everybody's doing well. Thank you so much for stopping by. Doing a little NBA chatter tonight. I did speak about the Vikings briefly at the beginning. I might, after the prediction, probably talk about the Vikings again, because it's just like I was saying how it's like my worst nightmare, me personally, like Pizza Ranch Boy potentially coming back to the Vikings. Please no. Or he who shall not be named, who used to play and be the quarterback for Evil to the East, then went to the Jets and now is with nobody. Danica Patrick's ex-fiance, Shailene Woodley's ex-boyfriend. Okay. So anyway, it's like my worst nightmare coming true. If either of those two are like the biggest potentials for a backup quarterback for the Vikings. But it would make for some good chatter though, wouldn't it? But anyway, good to see Eric. And Florinda and Raquel. Thank you so much for stopping by, everybody. Appreciate you. So back to the Timberwolves here, talking a little bit about them now. So Timberwolves, like I briefly mentioned there with Anthony Edwards, and him being a Leo, Mars just moved into Leo. So we got that going on. And like I said, just kind of like, it's not like Ant's been struggling this season, but there's just been kind of like up and downs. And, the technical fouls, that whole thing. So, and Mars does have to do with like our rage and our anger too. So that could be another thing too. Like, could Anthony Edwards get too heated here? Too heated, because he did talk about how there's going to be like, he doesn't want any technical fouls for himself. He's going to kind of watch it there, just kind of let it roll off a little bit. So maybe with Mars being back in Leo and Mars in a fire sign, instead of being in its fall in Cancer, Mars has been in Cancer for the last like few months here, and Mars is not comfortable in the sign of Cancer at all. So it's 0 degrees of Leo. So that could be, and this is a shift for everybody too on a collective level. So maybe get some more like, kind of energy. We're moving into Taurus season 2 tonight, which is Tauruses are relatively slow, but, kind of the slow and steady, thing. But spring around the corner for those of us in like the northern hemisphere. But anyway, so back to the Timberwolves. They're ruled by Venus tonight. So again, I'm going to look at the Timberwolves ruler of their fifth house of games and their 10th house of how they show out to the public tonight, as well as what Venus is doing with the moon. Because again, the moon, she's the co-ruler. So Venus is in Pisces right over here at 25 degrees. So again, this is the Timberwolves tonight. So Venus feels very, very comfortable in the sign of Pisces. So right there, I feel like that's beneficial for the Timberwolves tonight. Venus is also conjunct or at the same degree as Rahu or the North Node, the dragon's head, where we are supposed to go. Rahu can be good, but it can also be hard because it's like you're going somewhere you kind of are meant to be, but you've never really been there before. You're comfortable with the tail, but you're leaving the tail behind. So another thing too for the Timberwolves is Venus at 25 degrees is conjunct 1 degree away from Saturn. Saturn's at 26 degrees of Pisces. Now, again, Saturn can be like slow, or older people. So like Mike Conley, for example, and Rudy Gobert, I think like the veterans, the older people on the team for the Timberwolves are going to be very, very vital and important for them. And I also think coming in clutch because Venus does well in Pisces, and Saturn rules the Timberwolves' fifth house of how they play their games, because the fifth house for the Timberwolves lands in the sign of Aquarius, and Aquarius traditionally is ruled by Saturn, and then the modern day ruler is Uranus. So another good thing for the Timberwolves is that Uranus, the modern day ruler of Aquarius, which Aquarius again rules the Timberwolves' fifth house of their game, how they play their game. Uranus is at 25 degrees of Taurus, which is a perfect, what's called a sextile in astrology. That's planets that are 60 degrees away. It's very easy breezy. It's a very pleasant, nice aspect. This thick blue line here. The only thing though is I think too that Anthony Edwards or somebody on the Timberwolves is going to probably have to watch themselves and literally not pop off, because Uranus is very close to the fixed star Algol, and Algol is at 26 degrees of Taurus, and Algol can have to do with kind of like losing your head. I think it can be, it's a challenging one. So anyways, think literally they're going to have to watch themselves and like not pop off. So but with Uranus at 25 degrees, making a nice sextile, again, this thick blue line with Venus, the Timberwolves themselves, and Saturn. Saturn and Uranus are in good communication. Saturn and Uranus co-rule the Timberwolves, again, fifth house of how they're going to play the game tonight. I like that for them, but it's only like a 1 degree difference. So I do think that the game is going to be close. Now, I've been wrong before, so we'll see how that pans out. But like when I started looking at this chart, and kind of right now, I'm still kind of thinking that I think it's going to be like a 1 point like victory. Watch it be like a 10, or 100-point victory or something like that, because that's happened before. But the points are hard. It's hard to get the winner, and it's even harder to get like the point spread. But I'm trying over here. It's all about learning. But I say that again because of the 25, 26 degrees, Uranus at 25 degrees, Venus at 25 degrees. But we got to look at the moon too. The moon is working towards a sextile. Again, another blue line here. The moon, the co-ruler of the chart, which also the moon, she rules for the Timberwolves how they show out to the public tonight, their 10th house. So she's making good communication with Venus, the Timberwolves themselves. She's making good communication with Uranus. Uranus, again, the co-ruler of the fifth house for the Timberwolves. I really like that for them. I feel like the Timberwolves are going to kind of like maybe, I don't want to say like put their foot down, but like really make a mark here. Like, go into LA, like prove that they can play with the big dogs, not at home. They can play, they can hang with Luka, they can hang with LeBron, they can do it. But again, I do think that they're going to have to watch themselves not losing their temper and losing their cool. And, that doesn't just go for Ant, that goes for all of them. But Ant's kind of been the one that with the technicals, but also Chris Finch did get ejected from a game earlier this season. So, I mean, just for the Timberwolves in general, like if I was their astrologer, I would tell them that, just extra caution. I mean, even though they already like know that and have been talking about that again, especially Anthony Edwards with the previous technical fouls, and the referees potentially might make a lot of calls for the Lakers, or for LeBron or for Luka, just again, kind of just, it'll happen probably. But anyways, so just watch out for that. But with all that being said, I do think that the Timberwolves are going to win tonight. Again, I do think it's going to be like a close margin. I would say anywhere from like 1 point to like 8 points, something like that. I know that's kind of rather large, kind of spread, but yeah, so that's what I'm going with. I'm going with the Timberwolves tonight by like 1 to 8 points. And yeah, they should watch themselves there. They're gonna have to watch it a little bit. So, but that's what I think. We'll see what happens. We'll see how it pans out. But yeah, I'm gonna keep notes. I'm gonna try to do predictions for every game that the Timberwolves are hanging in for the NBA Finals. However many, I mean, this series is the best of 7, so obviously it could be just 4 games or more. And hopefully myself as a Timberwolves fan, I hope that they win and that they keep going. But I am gonna try to do the chart reads for every game, every playoff game for the Timberwolves, that is, for this season. I did last year, I think I did most of them. And then I did the final, like the NBA finals. I did every single game for that, but I have all these notes. Anyway, so that's what I'm planning on doing. So like I said, obviously that's game 1 tonight. And then game 2, I think, is Tuesday. Yeah, it looks like it's on Tuesday. And I'm not going to be able to watch it, I don't think. Dang it. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe. Oh, yeah, I don't think I'll be able to watch the one on Tuesday. But then, so Saturday, obviously today, game 2 is on Tuesday. Friday, I think they're going to be back, at the Target Center. And then next Sunday, the 27th at the Target Center. And then to be determined, it looks like Wednesday, April 30th, for game 7 if they get to that point. So hopefully it's a good matchup here. But yeah, it should be exciting, I think. But anyway, I'm going to stop sharing now. But thanks everybody for hanging out and listening to that for the Planetary pregame for today. But yeah, basically that's all I really had. And then as far as like for the Timberwolves, I guess. But yeah, hopefully they can go in there, and I'll be watching tonight, and I'll be looking at the chart too to see how well I did. I did forget to talk about the part of fortune, but part of fortune's at 24 degrees of Gemini. But I need the exact tip-off time for the part of fortune because that'll move so quickly. So it's okay that I leave that out for right now. And I don't need to be clickety-clacking that pen. But I really appreciate everybody stopping through. Good to see everybody. And yeah, happy Taurus season later today. Again, the sun's going to be moving into Taurus. So say happy Taurus season to all your Taurians out there. And probably bring them a nice little treat and maybe like something comfortable, like a cushion, offer them a nice chair or a blanket or a nice sweater. Taurus is like their comfort. They like their luxury. They like some good food and wine too. I mean, who doesn't? But Tauruses really do, so treat your Taurus friends out there, people. So, and yeah, back to the Vikings. I mean, honestly, people, the draft is coming up, but the Vikings still do not have a quarterback number 2. So there's that. And, I am happy for Sam Darnold. I don't think I've been on since he got signed. I don't think, anyway. Maybe I don't think so. But Sam Darnold is in Seattle, so happy for him. I will be cheering him on. Like I said earlier, Case Keenum is back in the NFC North. So as a Keeniac, I'll just be excited because obviously the Vikings will play them twice. So we'll get to see Case, hanging out there. The Vikings could have brought him back, but no. And then, it looks like they're going to go with JJ McCarthy. And part of me, honestly, it does have just like a feeling there's been so much chatter and so many rumors about the fact that Kirk might come back if Atlanta releases him because they don't want him and we don't want him anymore. Okay, that's done. It's done and dusted. Goodbye. All right. And he who shall not be named, I don't even like saying his name. Former New York Jets quarterback makes an appearance on the Pat McAfee show. Used to be the quarterback for the Evil to the East. I can't stand him. He's annoying. I don't want him on the Vikings either. No, both of them are bad. But here's the thing, people. I have a sneaking suspicion that one of them is going to be on the Vikings roster by the time the first real game is in September. I haven't looked at the schedule. Have they released it? I don't even know. I don't think they've released it yet. I think it's in May, right? And here's the thing too, is if I had to choose between one of those two, personally, that's like a really difficult decision. And if I had to choose between Kirk or Big Baby, I think I'd have to pick Kirk, honestly. Honestly, who throws a shoe? A horse does. But it's going to be, and the fact that, the Vikings haven't signed anyone, and I mean, there's still other quarterbacks out there. So there's hope. There's hope that it doesn't have to be Kirk returning or the other one. He who shall not be named. I can't stand him. He's annoying. He's just annoying to me. I think Carson Wentz is still floating around. Joe Flacco's not available anymore. So, and I don't think, Brett Favre can't come back either. I think his time as a NFL quarterback is done. Unless this is all a freaking conspiracy that Kevin O'Connell wants to get back playing again. Has anybody brought that up? I mean, I know that's kind of out there. Has anybody brought that up, though? I mean, that is total tinfoil hat town, okay? But is that why they haven't signed a backup quarterback? Because Kevin O'Connell wants to get back in there and wants to try again, wants to quarterback again. I mean, stranger things, right? But I don't think I've heard anyone else say that. I just thought of it right now. There's probably others that have said that. But, I mean, again, that's total tinfoil hat, conspiracy town. But, I mean, he was a quarterback. He never, really got a true opportunity or whatever. He's a quarterback whisperer, allegedly. I'm still waiting for this whispering. It's like, okay, Robert Redford, step off. So, I don't know. That could be it. Kevin O'Connell at the end of training camp is going to pull the rug out from John, from JJ, say, hey, kid, no, you're not ready yet. But you know what? I'm available. Hell, I can coach this team, and I'll be their quarterback. So if that does transpire, just remember that I brought it up, okay? So, again, weirder things. But anyway, I'm going to sign off. I appreciate everybody stopping by. It's fun. It's been fun. And again, hoping to do Planetary pregame for game number 2. Lakers hosting Timberwolves, and that is on Tuesday. So hopefully I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Let me just check the time. I'm obviously going to try to do it before the game, hence the Planetary pregame of it all. Oh, yeah, that's a later one. 9 p.m. Central on Tuesday. That's past my bedtime, people. But I'll have to stay up late maybe. But I don't even think I can watch it, but I can listen to it on the radio. Oh, it's on TNT. Well, shit. I can watch it then. Heck yeah. Might have to stay up late. Anyway, so that's the plan to do Tuesday too. So we'll see how it goes. And again, prediction for this evening is the Timberwolves are to be the victor by a 1 to 8 point spread margin. But I'm thinking closer to 1 point. And again, Timberwolves in general and Timberwolves, just watch the rage, okay? Just don't let your head explode, okay? And yeah, I think for the Lakers, again, there's going to be kind of a spotlight. There's probably going to be a lot of celebrities there, no real surprise. But again, I could see like an older celebrity, like an older one, like the longevity, and to potentially like a former Laker, that's like a Magic Johnson, Shaq, something like that. So anyway, look out for those things. But I appreciate everybody hanging out, chiming in, checking in. I'm still not going to do the skull clap too evil, but we'll give you one of these. Okay. But I appreciate everybody stopping by. I hope you have a great rest of your Saturday, a great rest of your weekend, and a good start to the week. And hopefully I see you Tuesday. All right, everybody. I will catch you next time. Take care. Peace out.